We are going to be seeing a kind of an active weather pattern going on. As we go through the day today, we watch this front that moves a little bit further south, seeing a large area of potential strong thunderstorms, but we're not going to be looking at a big outbreak of severe weather. Just an area from New York City, south of the area, really, down towards Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. And this is all going to be a bit later today. Everything's kind of quieting down right now, but as we get later into today, we get some daytime heating. Storms will be developing, and some of them could have some hail and some gusty winds, all the way really from Little Rock all the way up to Washington, D.C. And then back to the west, we'll see a separate area of storms probably redeveloping with daytime heating. And this is probably where our biggest concern is across parts of southwest Nebraska, northwest Kansas. That is where some of the storms could actually have some isolated tornadoes. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on the plains a bit later today. 3 and 10 for the Torcon Index. Dr. Greg Forbes here across parts of Nebraska and Kansas. Very warm ahead of the front. And then as we get into Monday, looking at the severe weather chance from parts of Alabama, Mississippi, back into parts of Dallas. And again, there's a lot of red on the map, but we're not expecting a big outbreak. Still, some of the storms, gusty winds, and some cloud to ground lightning and maybe some hail as well. And again, behind the front, well to the north, it's very nice. We get into Tuesday, low pressure tracking through the southeast. Could be a little more rough weather around Atlanta up towards Raleigh. Not a big outbreak like we just saw with all that damaging wind, but again, scattered strong storms, what we call pulse severe thunderstorms more than likely. That means they pop up very quickly, but they die off just as quick as they pop up, and they release some gusty winds, and sometimes we get 1-inch diameter hail with some of these. That's the kind of setup we're probably looking at in a few areas as we get into through the week here. Now we go to Wednesday. We're looking at still the same front hung up from all the way Oklahoma all the way to South Carolina. Ahead of it, pop-up storms in the afternoon. Behind it, it is actually going to be very refreshing. We get to Thursday. We're looking at low pressure here offshore North Carolina, back to the west, showers and thunderstorms along and south of it. And we're going to have to watch this front as it stays in this area for a few days. Sometimes, I'm not saying this time, but sometimes these fronts will stir up a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity in the Gulf of Mexico and across the southwest Atlantic. And that's something we have to kind of keep an eye on, tropically speaking, but there's nothing to worry about right now. Just some showers and storms popping up here ahead of the front. The front stalls out, or it stays stalled out really, from North Carolina back into parts of southern Alabama, parts of Louisiana, New Orleans. Could have some pop-up storms as we go through the week. And really the entire southeast most of the week has a chance of storms each afternoon. We look at the plain states here, looking at a brand new low pressure moving towards Minneapolis with some showers and storms ahead of that. And then as we get into this upcoming weekend, we're looking down the road a little bit here, but we are thinking it's going to be warm and humid as we would expect for mid-June. Some showers, thunderstorms across the Great Lakes. And look at this, the same front that's been there all week, causing more storms south Georgia into parts of Florida.